Hello everyone, I'm Mike Manjos and welcome to Market Wrap, a weekly overview to what's driving the luxury watch industry. So we're back to you this week at Market Wrap. We're back in Philly. Got to spend a lot of home time last weekend. My wife and kids were traveling locally a little bit, so I've been back and forth to Philly, staying in my little bubble. It is actually nice being in Connecticut. It's the one time being surrounded by a lot of uptight people actually paid off because nobody really goes anywhere in Connecticut and we're all trying to stay safe. So hopefully that'll keep us going and keep us busy at the office here. So we always start with three watches that we love this week, and it was a really good week. So starting with Rolex Day-Date II. So this is a 41 millimeter white gold. It's a piece they only made for a few years. They discontinued it. The reason I love this particular version is it's got what's called a blue wave dial. I'm always a sucker for blue dials. This particular one is super interesting with the wave pattern across the back. Great understated watch, heavy watch, so it's got great presence on your wrist. Love that Day-Date IIs. The new Day-Dates are great, but I still have a soft spot for the original version in the 41. The second piece we got this week is a really special Patek Philippe. I always love Perpetual Calendars. This is a Perpetual Retrograde. Now, typically the version you see is 5159. Everybody's aware of the officer's case. This is a 5160/500G. Now, the difference is the watch is completely hand engraved. The bezel's hand engraved. The case back is hand engraved. The buckle is hand engraved. The box has engraving on it. The amount of detail and intricacy of this watch is incredible. Now, obviously, it's super rare because they just don't have that many engravers at this level. They don't produce a lot of this piece. It's not something you'll see a lot of. It's very rare for us to get one in the secondary market, so super excited to have that version. That's one that I'm sure will not last very long. And the last piece is another Patek that really gets me excited. So it's a vintage piece. So it's a 3970 Perpetual Chrono. Now what makes this super special is two things. One, it's rose gold. So the majority of 3970s came in yellow. It was the traditional color of that time. Rose was an unusual piece, more often a European client. This particular one was actually purchased from us in Philadelphia. And this one is a 200R, and that means it's a bracelet model. Patek made very limited productions of integrated bracelets with the 3970. It is just an amazing watch. It is so not today's style. It is really a gentleman's watch. It's dressy, but when you look at that piece, it's just hard not to get excited. Just a beautiful watch, and I think a tremendous value in today's market. So I had a great time last weekend. I had a lot of free time. Wife and kids were away, so I spent a lot of time relaxing and also reviewing some numbers on trading. And we're starting to see a lot of trends developing. The market in Asia, for instance, has always been a leading indicator for the watch market. We always see a great directional pricing coming on commodity prices. The prices there tend to move 2 to 4 weeks before we see action in the US. Dealer behavior in Asia tends to spread through the world in a very short time. So we've seen prices on Rolex Sports spike, started about a month ago. Now it's starting to happen here in the US. We've seen Nautilus prices come back up as well. We posted a 5990 2 days ago. I had 3 clients reach out. There is definitely more excitement on those commodity pieces. We're seeing prices come back to levels that were pre-COVID. We're feeling energy in that market, and I really think the driving force is coming out of Asia. They got into this pandemic a little earlier than we do. They came out of it. They had a little bit of a setback, but I definitely feel the trading and the action that's coming out of Asia is really driving the world's market. We've got a great advantage here at Watchbox because I get to look at the business in Philadelphia, in Europe, in Asia, in Dubai, and you can really start seeing trends develop and things tend to feed itself. So when you start seeing 3 and 4 and 5 people calling the same day on a particular watch, it's easy to notice, and it's easy to notice the prices escalate on those pieces. We're seeing it in Rolex, we're seeing it in Patek, we're also seeing it in Royal Oaks. Audemars been really hot in Royal Oaks. Again, a month ago we started seeing the price spike in Asia, and now we're really starting to feel the effects here. The other thing I've noticed over the last 3 months is we've seen a spike in trading in Vacheron. Yes, Vacheron. Now, Vacheron was originally considered part of the big 3, but over the past decade, they've slowed a little bit as Patek and AP have really escalated. Vacheron kind of became that third child. We are starting to see more trading. We're starting to see a lot of activity. And I think it's got to do with 2 things. One is The prices on the Pateks and Audemars have really escalated. Prices on Vacherons didn't really move much. So now when you start comparing the quality, which is exceptional, there's some classic styles, and the pricing compared to these other brands is a bargain. So I think people are starting to look at it as a value play. I think it's awesome that we're seeing, it's a great respected brand, and I think seeing some action coming back to Vacheron makes me very happy. I'm not sure it'll last forever. I think what's going to happen is we'll see what happened with Patek and Audemars spread over to Vacheron. So my son left last week to go back to Colorado. My other son's counting the days to go back to school. So even though summer's in full swing, I think we all know that soon it'll be a fading memory. I've been shocked by the strength of the market in summer, especially as the US deals with this pandemic. I believe a combination of less travel, very limited supply on new goods, and generally watch guys spending more time at the computer, having more normal time to sit home and look at it is driving the business in a way I didn't personally foresee. I thought the summer would be seeing softening prices. We've seen just the opposite. Now, I believe this is going to continue for the rest of the summer, and I think based on new introductions coming in the fall, I think we're going to see a very strong fall for the Swiss watch business, which would be great because obviously they were terribly impacted for the second quarter, and I think they're going to see that upswing very quickly. So the last thing we're going to hit is what we are buying. So a couple things we touched on earlier, the Patek Perpetuals, specifically the 3970, always been a favorite of mine. We're seeing fewer and fewer hit the market. I think the trend towards smaller watches will help these pieces eventually. And just an appreciation for what they are. I think they're great value buys. We love having them. Just an amazing perpetual chrono. The other pieces I love is the Audemars, specifically the 15202s. It's the ultra thin, great style, super wearable, very rare. Seeing prices escalate on those as more and more interest comes on, and I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon. Okay, and the last piece we're going to talk about is Vacheron, specifically their chronos. They make some great vintage chronos. They have the overseas chronos. I think these are exceptional values when you start comparing them to the Patek 5070s or the 5970s. You can get amazing, complicated, super high quality watches at great values, and it's an area we're going to definitely push on going forward. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and always feel free to reach out with any questions, inquiries about anything you see here.